Hey, how's it going? Ready for another great one tonight? Got a great
Dude,
guest.
this is epic night, dude. You know how
Yeah,
we
yeah.
we got to meet this really kind guy that can lift cars and stuff and throw
Oh, yeah.
boulders and move mountains.
Yeah, yeah.
We're blessed to have our hero back, Nick Best. Nick, how you doing, buddy?
Great guys. How's it going, Josh? Dane?
I
Great,
am
great, great, great.
glad, man. Nick, we're glad we're putting you on the other side of the mic tonight. Nick, we're having you help us
No.
co-host. So
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. It's gonna be fun.
I love it. So Nick and Dane, I've got a little trivia for you first, a useless trivia. I was doing something a
All
little
right.
different and prepping for this week. Useless
Okay.
facts, if you will, man. So I've got some stuff I want to tell you guys. Did you guys know that a shark is the only animal that can blink with each eye independently? So it can keep an eye on its prey. It can do this whole thing right here. They can go back and forth with like that. The only animal that can do that. It's kind of crazy.
Huh.
Did you know
I
that,
did
Nick?
not know that. No.
I didn't know that. Huh.
I
My
also,
wife probably knows that. She likes sharks.
right? she knows the trivia. Did you know, Nick, that there's a cheese pizza that set the Guinness Book of World Records? It has 154 different types of cheese on that one pizza.
154?
It's crazy, dude.
That funky tasting pizza. But
I was gonna say, I think I know like 5 types of cheese. That's about it. That's all I got.
Maybe 6 or 7 I could think of, but that's about it.
Crazy. There's some facts too, because as I transition from useless to more useful, the theme tonight kind of being around wolves and so forth with our guest. I got a couple wolf facts for you guys. Did you guys know that wolves actually don't howl at the moon, Nick and Dane?
No, I
They
didn't.
Wonder where all that started then.
It was an Ozzy Osbourne song.
Oh, there you go.
So yeah, he started.
They communicate with each other, don't they?
Yep, that's actually GPS, Nick. They do GPS as part of their howling system. And did you know wolves average about a 13-year lifespan? Did you know that?
Yeah. Yep, knew that one.
That would make sense. I did not know that, but that would make sense because they're a variation of dog.
And the most important wolf fact of all time is the coolest wolf known to man is the bad wolf, baby. And we've got Kyle Konkiel coming on for bad wolf. So I don't want to waste any more time. I want to get down into it and bring on this musical god himself. Kyle, how you doing, brother?
Yeah, not too shabby, man. Thank you guys for having me. Nick, Josh, Dane. It's a pleasure to meet you guys.
Yes, sir.
Thanks for coming on.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, Kyle, we've got some, man, again, I love the everything from day one, man. Huge fans. I'm loving Bad Friend. Obviously the catalog of hits. I still play it every day when I run. It's a little bit faster than what I need to run, so it helps me set pace. So thank you, man, for motivating me, Kyle.
Yeah.
Got some questions over the years. I'm gonna go first and I'll hand one off to Nick and Dane. Man, take me back before. I always think about my first base, man. People like you will influence me to play. My first base was an Ibanez Roadstar Purple. It's 5-string. It was beautiful when I was a kid. Take me back when you were playing, man, before you were with Bad Wolves and the various gigs and all that. When did you first start playing, man? At what age did you start?
So I started at like 13 or 14. I came from a high school, I was born and raised in Los Angeles. So, everybody I knew was kind of doing music. Like I went to high school with some of the guys from Hollywood Undead. I went to middle school with Skrillex. So there was lots of very musically inclined people, and everyone played guitar. And there was 2 guys that I knew, both of them on the football team, that played bass guitar, but like not very seriously. So I was trying to try out for all these different bands, and everyone's like, "Oh, we already have guitar players. We already have 2 guitar players." And so I just kind of picked bass out of necessity because I wanted to play in the bands as well. And I started playing at about 13 or 14, and my mom for my birthday got me a Fender Squier P bass, and then my brother got me an amp. So I had an amp and a bass, and I could go and jam, and I knew nothing of tunings and anything really at the time, because I just had an acoustic guitar that I had been playing for a couple of years, and so it was it was a really great learning experience, especially starting to play off with other people who I'd never I never played with anybody at that time. So
yeah. So what a starting point, man. Starting off with that's a heck of a starting point. Was there an album? Because I always used to play Lateralis all the time to try to learn to play it. Never did a good job of it, but was there an album that you played a lot, like just practicing to growing up, that was your go-to?
Well, in the early years, I swapped back and forth with guitar and bass. When I got my P bass, I only played it for a little while. And when I switched back to guitar, and I switched back to bass in my early 20s. Just because, again, the need for bass players. But I mean, at that time, I was playing guitar, mostly guitar, and learning stuff from like
I got you.
Slayer, the Decade of Aggression live album,
Yeah.
A bunch of stuff. And then I didn't really like sit down and start like learning other people's material besides that until probably, I don't know, like early 2000s. And then it was like, Killswitch Engage and A Partache and
got you.
like that.
Some of the classics. I got you, man. That's awesome. I kind of had a feeling of that vein. I appreciate it. Nick,
It was going to be what were his early influences in playing bass, but he just answered a lot of those. So my question now is going to be two. One, what's it like playing with somebody for the first time like that? Because it's got to be incredible, like when you've got a drummer next to you that you haven't had before, and then somebody on guitar, and then a singer up there that you haven't done. Second, I want to hear about the Mad Max picture behind you on the wall. That is really cool.
So it's always nerve-wracking for me, especially coming into a situation where you may or may not be familiar with people. There's always like a level of expectation of like, they're going to be able to hold their own.
Yeah.
Sometimes they can, sometimes they exceed their, your expectation. And other times it's just like, what am I doing here right now? But I believe that all of those situations have a learning, a form of learning in it. And I say, I've always told people when they're like, what's your best advice? And it's always, play with people, just as many people as you can. Good, bad, great, terrible, your age, older. Like you'll always learn something from any situation. But it's always been like a nerve-wracking thing. I mean, for the most part, I've just been with, John and Doc last 5 years or so. And but I did do a couple of things with Devin Townsend right before the pandemic started, and going into that, I knew I was the worst musician in the room. So I was like, as long as Dirk Verburen, who plays for Megadeth, he was playing drums with us at the time. As long as Dirk does his job, I'll be fine. And I knew Dirk was a great drummer. I just didn't realize that he was like a perfect drummer. So that like when we first started playing, I was like, oh, this is going to be cake for me, because Dirk has already perfected all these songs. So, but in the Mad Max poster, I mean, Mad Max is probably my favorite franchise, besides Back to the Future. And I don't know, I was looking for stuff to decorate my room, and I just thought the image of Max and dog walking down the street was a really iconic picture, and it kind of reminds of me and my dog. So
There you go.
I love that. That's cool.
Awesome.
Oh, yeah.
Nick, can you go to Nick next week? Can you wear that suit, Nick, when you go to Shaw Classic for me, Nick? Can you do that? Hey, get a replica.
Probably get away
Yeah, the
with it.
replica.
I don't think
There you
I'll
go.
have it my size though.
I love it.
So,
Now, Kyle, from the time you first picked up a bass and started playing and learning your craft, and you had all the influences coming up, and you started getting to do more and more gigs, and you started finding your footing through all those gigs and events that you've done. Are there maybe one or two events or gigs that stick out in the forefront of your mind that you could kind of share with us?
So I mean, my professional, career has lasted about 14 years so far, which, every day I'm grateful for. But most of those have hit within the last 5 years, with, the success of Zombie and, all any of the other, songs that we put out that, people have enjoyed. With Bad Wolves, we were out there with 3 Days Grace, and we were playing Prague, and
Wow.
it was then the only bands on the bill were us and 3 Days Grace. And I remember, before we went on, it seemed like, we all have in-ears in, so you can't really hear, but even through our in-ears that block sound, we were able to hear the Bad Wolves chant, throughout the entire, little hockey arena that we were playing.
That's
And
cool.
then,
Wow.
yeah. And then, being able to go to places like Russia, which, who knows when the next time I'll be able to go to Russia is.
Yeah.
Right.
Being able to tour around Australia with Nickelback. Yeah, just
so many things, man. And I remember we had Mikey. You may know Mikey from Islander. It's kind of a POD type band, and he was talking about, man, there's shows like that where you played, huge festivals. I've seen you guys at, like the Red Rocks thing, and cool. I've also heard musicians say this, and Kyle, that sometimes when you have those small club venues, like a lot of artists talk about, even like the Ryman and the Troubadour, like those smaller venues, Machine Shop. Would you say maybe some of those are special for you as well? Maybe not such a big crowd, but just special,
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I mean, of course, we're very fortunate that, anytime we play the machine shop, it sells out. And, those close intimate gigs are, sometimes some of the best. I was just trying to think of, some of the more iconic, and
Gotcha.
I feel it's weird because being in Bad Wolves, and I don't mean when I say this like in any kind of cocky way, but I mean, we've had very little experience in the clubs.
Got you.
We've been a support band for bigger acts, Nothing More, Breaking Benjamin, Five Finger Death Punch, 3 Days Grace. All these larger bands have been so graceful and gracious to take us under their wing. And we just went out and did a little club run that I just got home from. And there was definitely some rippers on there where I was like, man, this was a great show. We got to play a few shows with our buddies in Volbeat, and it's weird. It's weird to see the dynamic between how, like, because they're massive in Europe. They're like Metallica in Europe.
Yeah.
And not that they're not big here, but it's just like it's just a little bit different than I was like. But either way, we were still super stoked to be on the bill with them again, and their whole camp is just
Thank you to calm down and wind down after a huge show like that. We just come in and just everything, you just nail everything. The crowd's on, and the energy that comes out of the room. How long does it take that buzz to go away?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, it really just depends on the show. If we have consistent good shows, I mean, I don't like playing late because I'll be up all night. Typically, I need like a few hours to actually calm down, and like even then, 2-3 o'clock in the morning, like a lot of musicians drink, is because it helps you,
knock that edge off. Yeah.
Kyle, I think one time I was messaging you, speaking of late, because we're in Kansas, Nick's in Nevada, we're in Kansas, right? So one day you had messaged me, you're leaving a show, Kyle, and it's like, it's 3 a.m. for me. I'm like, yeah, he's probably just finishing a gig. I get it. One of the days you're on, so I get it, man. There's a section, Kyle, we want to transition to. Hopefully, in the interviews that you've done, we try to separate ourselves a little bit with a segment that's called Rapid Fire. So give you a little, Nick's been through this. So Nick, how'd you feel about that last one, Nick? Not too bad, huh?
Yeah, I liked it. It was fun.
Yeah. So Nick, Dane, and I have bet on these, and the winner gets lunch provided by the loser. So this is going to be a 3-way triple threat here for the winner. So Kyle, I'm going to throw some questions at you, and you have to pick one of the two. You have to decide. Okay. So.
All right. Well, I hope you guys have to buy Nick dinner.
I hope so. Well, we're going to.
I was going to say, I can eat.
I was going to say, we're going to feed the beast somewhere. I got to reach. I was going to say, I got to reach deep in the pockets for that one.
It's crazy, Nick, on that subject. I think, honestly, man, like probably not, but I could do a 12-egg omelet, bro, if you ever want to go. That's my record. So let's do it. I got you. Right. I've done it twice. I did. I made myself sick. Imagine you show up at an event, and you don't have any of your gear. You're showing up, you don't have your bass, you don't have amps, nothing, but you still have to play. So you have to go on stage, everybody's chanting Bad Wolves, and you come out and you have 2 objects that you have to just wing it and act like you're playing with. Object 1 is a tennis racket, or object 2 is a pool cue. You just got to go out there and just air guitar all night using a tennis racket or a pool cue. Which one are you going with?
Oh, tennis racket.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, I got it. Dane, what'd you have?
Oh, yeah, I had the racket.
Nick,
easy. I
had the pool cue.
Let's go.
I was doing the tennis racket when I was a kid.
Well, see, I mean, for size comparison, the pool cue would make more sense. but with the tennis racket, it has, you know, the stitching and stuff, like, you know.
Let's go. So like, if you ever run out, man, just have somebody throw you like a tennis racket, you can still get it, you know what I mean? So I love it. So question 2, you guys are on tour, and you know, a lot of times on tour there's live covers and all that stuff. It's part of the thing. But you guys are now that your songs are becoming anthems, they are, whether it's Killing Me or whether it's obviously the new single with Bad Friend, or even, you know, just my catalog, you're asked to cover one of these 2 90s hits. You have to either go with, and it's different genre, but I know you guys are kind of eclectic. I know you did Cranberries, which is a great 90s hit. Yep. You have to go with A, Larger Than Life by Backstreet Boys and make it metal and do your thing. Or B, Oops, I Did It Again by Britney Spears and make that metal. We go on Backstreet Boys or Britney Spears. You got to cover it. Go.
I feel like I've, maybe I'm just like having like a multiverse collision, but I feel like Korn did something like a Larger Than Life by Backstreet Boys. I could be completely wrong, so I mean, I would have to say Britney Spears.
They did. Are you thinking of Word Up? They did Word Up by Cameo. They did that.
Oh yeah. But I mean, for some reason, I can still think of Korn doing Backstreet Boys. So
that'd be cool, man.
I'm gonna stick with Britney Spears.
Nick, what'd you have on that one?
I had Larger Than Life.
You're going 0-2, baby. What about you, Dane?
Oh yeah, I'm 2 for 2.
Okay, let's go, Dane. I got you. So next one, Kyle. So you're asked on the spot. 2 bands call you. They want you to step from behind the bass, and you gotta just step in, and you gotta be the cover singer for tonight. These 2 artists are sick. They just call you up. Hey man, we got 2 local shows. You got to pick between one of the 2. You got to just be the lead singer and do your thing, acting as one of these 2. Again, I know you're eclectic. So are you going with either A, filling in for Smash Mouth, or B, Rusted Root? You know, On My Way. That you're going Smash Mouth or Rusted Root? Yeah. Which one are you going with?
I mean, Smash Mouth already got a new singer, so I'm gonna have to go with Rusted Root.
3 for 3, baby. Let's go. Let's go. Dane, right. Did you have that one, Dane?
Oh yeah.
I am 0 for 3.
Nick, did you really? Nick, man, come on, bro.
That's all right. That's all right, Nick. You're new at this. You have to break yourself in somewhere.
It's my first time, so maybe I'll get it one right.
So Nick, you can lift a car, but I'm beating you in rapid. I'm just letting you know, bro.
Destroying me.
I love it. I love it. Next one. So Kyle, a lot of times, you know, I did this based off of, honestly, from your style, stylistically, even the way you like do your hair and stuff. You get to be, and Nick will love this one. You get to be in one of these 2 movies coming up. Okay, it's a movie question. You get to be one of these 2 guys. You can be the main character in one of these 2 franchises coming up. You can be either A, for the reboot of John Wick. You can be the new John Wick, Kyle, or you can also be the new Scorpion from Mortal Kombat. Are you going John Wick or Scorpion in Mortal Kombat?
Oh, John Wick.
Yeah.
Got you. Let's go. Okay, good. You're coming back, Nick. You got one. So, Dane, did you have that?
Oh, yeah. Everybody wants to be John Wick.
Got you. 2 more, because I threw a bonus one that Dane and Nick don't know about. So 2 more. On the tour, Kyle, you guys are going on your tour and all that, and they asked you a lot of like, you know, bands like Kiss doing different things to run with a costume. It's a theme. So for this event, you're going to be playing just a one-night show. Going to do a costume. You can either go with 2 of these iconic characters. You can dress up as Darth Maul, or you can dress up as Pennywise for the night. Which one are you going with?
Oh, Darth Maul.
Let's go. I'm ripping it, dude. Nate, did you have that one, Nick?
No, I had Pennywise.
Dude.
Pennywise.
Well, Nick, we're gonna buy you sympathy dinner, bro.
Darth Maul, I don't know why he's not as scary looking. Pennywise is frightening.
Oh,
got you.
Oh yeah.
So, Dane, did you have that? Did you have Darth Maul? Dane?
No, I had Pennywise.
Wait a minute. So I'm fine right now. Dane, you have one more, and Nick, this is the bonus one. So you guys have to say this in your head and be honest. The last one, Kyle, this is the bonus one, and then we'll move on. You're asked. This has happened a few times with celebrities to be actually part of a video game. So you get to actually be a character in one of these 2 video game fighting franchises. You can either be Kyle in Street Fighter, or Kyle as a part of the new Tekken video game. So Street Fighter, Tekken. Dane and Nick, go ahead and pick it in your mind. Ready? Kyle, which one are you going with?
Oh, Street Fighter.
Let's go. 6 for 6. What'd you have, Nick?
Street Fighter.
Let's go. Okay, Dane?
Tekken.
Okay, got it. Well, Nick and Dane, I like quarter ounce or whatever, the quarter pounders. I like those. I like porterhouse steaks. So I got you. Let's go. I'm just kidding.
I got a pack of ramen with your name on it, man. That's what I got.
Let's go.
You're gonna make me eat it dry?
No,
Oh, yeah,
no, that's gross, man. I'm not doing that. Thank you, Kyle. Hopefully an interview's passed, man. That's a segment you haven't had before, so I appreciate you, man. You're a good sport. So Dan, I'll give that last one back to you, Dan.
Yeah, Kyle, on this last segment, we called it an open mic segment. We kind of open up the floor to our guests to maybe tell some of our younger viewers that are listening that or watching that kind of look up to you and aspire to be at your level someday. Is there maybe like a philosophy or a mantra you've carried with you through your career from 13 on, your music career, that kind of helped you get through some tough times or helped you get to that next level that you can maybe share with some of our younger viewers?
Yeah, man. I mean, when you're, I'm considered professional by trade, but I don't, there's so many people who I believe are actual professionals. But I mean, there's no real handbook for that, and it's just basically, you got to be a decent person. You got to have the ability to compromise. Play as well as you can, practice as much as you possibly can, and you got to take care of your body first and foremost. Like the last few years with the pandemic and everything, like I've had the most weight fluctuations that I've ever had, and I'm now getting back into it. And just making sure that you're eating your vegetables and working out and taking your vitamins, because this career is not just for anybody, and it's a lot harder on your body than most people realize. You're traveling, especially if you're not traveling like some of the real big dogs, where it's like you're just a hotel to a plane. Bus rides are not easy. You have to adjust, you have to adjust your body to sleeping in a moving vehicle going 80 miles an hour down a 5% downslope, at 3 o'clock in the morning. But yeah, just be a decent person, the ability to compromise, keep your body in check, and try not to fall into any of the road temptations, and just,
Got you.
Don't be a drunk, and don't be a womanizer,
I love that, man. That's and Kyle, Nick, I want to hear your thoughts on that, Nick, because you obviously, Nick, you're very, very big on taking care of your body. What do you think about that, Nick? That's awesome.
No, absolutely, 100%. I know a few other musicians as well, and they do have to concentrate on taking care of themselves. Touring is no joke.
Yeah,
I mean, you're going. You're not getting great food because it's hard to get unless you have your own personal chef.
Yeah,
it's hard to get good meals made for you. So you got to learn how to order off of menus as best as you can, and deal with that and get your exercise in, because you're stuck on a bus or you're traveling or you're doing whatever for long periods of time. So taking care of your body is ultra important. Plus, I mean, you're putting all that energy in your performance, and you need to be able to learn how to concentrate and how to meditate and wind down after it's all over. So it's extremely important. And it's kind of neat to hear him talk about not falling for all the pitfalls that are there after the shows are over. So it's really cool. I had a lot of respect for you anyway. I have even that much.
No, thank you. Well, I mean, dude, it's really easy, and I myself have fallen into the rigors and the of touring, and like I said, pre-pandemic, in 2019, I had realized, I'm like, listen, like I have not been taking care of myself, and Mike from Nickelback had introduced me to this guy Eric Fleshman, also known as Eric the Trainer. He recently passed away, so he really helped me out a lot. Not only with my physical appearance, but my mental well-being, and he was always a person that was there for me, and he was one of those types of people that you'd walk into his gym and it was like you couldn't be in a bad mood there. That's awesome. And I recently had started going to one of his apprentice, Jimmy the Trainer, and I'm getting back on a really strict food. I'm like reevaluating my relationship with food, because these last years, not only the pandemic, but a lot of the other things that me personally as well as the band have had to go through these last few years. I've been using food as a crutch, and I'm trying to get back into food is fuel, like it's what your body runs on. So it's just getting back to the basics with nutrition and sleep, and and going to the gym for an hour and a half, 3 to 4 times a week. And then I also do I do cardio by myself every single day, just because I'm just trying to burn the calories. I went from a few years ago, I went from 225 to 188 in the span of 2 months.
Wow.
That's good.
Because I just redid my entire diet. I reevaluated how I saw everything. I would look at everything and be like, this is going to give me the power to want to lift, Yeah. And then afterwards, having something that's a little bit lighter but still nourishing to your muscle building and everything, but also like figuring out, most people they start being sedentary throughout their day around 2 p.m. So figuring out where I could have the higher calorie meals and the more carb dense meals in my day, and then starting at like the top and then winding down, having big meals at the beginning of the day, smaller, less like calorically dense meals throughout and then stop eating at like 7 or 8 or whatever. And so that's been the biggest thing for me. And and I've also I noticed that when I am active, I'm better at managing my time. So if I have my day job, which I still have a day job, I go into my day job at 10. So I make sure that I am in the gym no later than 8 a.m. And my gym is a little far from me, so I got to get up at 6:30 to walk my dog. So up at 6:30, back in my house before 7, make something to eat, go to the gym at 8 a.m., 8 to 9:15, rinse off, go to work, go home, walk my dog, or go to the gym that's down the street from my house and get on the Peloton for 45 minutes.
It's Nick, Dane. Remember when Nick, you said something about this when you said, "Man, I'd rather trade off," and I never, and it actually helped me, Nick, a little bit of an inspirational thing. You said, "I'd rather trade a night with the guys drinking beers and trade that for a gym." Didn't you say that, Nick? That was I almost quoted you, man.
I would rather go and go to the gym and work out and take the night off and relax than go out to the bar with the guys. My goal is to be the best in the world, not to.
That's crazy.
To be the best party in the world.
That's crazy, man.
I want to do this as long as I can. So that's kind of how I do that.
Yeah, I mean, with bodybuilding and being in the entertainment industry, I really feel that there are a lot of similar goals because I want to be the best at what I do, and I can't be the best at what I do if I look like a pear. If I'm consistently just dripping sweat or looking like I'm about to keel over,
Now
it's a lot of energy expulsion, and you got to be able to do your part. And a lot of these shows that, I mean, just look at like Shinedown, for instance. I mean, like Eric Bass, like his whole life is like, I'm going to look the best that I can. We're going to put on the best show that we can, and he does it for the band. Because you're selling yourselves. And we're not in a death metal band in our teens anymore. You can't just have a bunch of out of shape looking guys trying to sell
the metal
like that. I mean, in a death metal band, it's fine, nobody cares. But there is a bit of an image thing when it comes to radio rock, arena rock.
Whenever you're going on tour and you're out on the road, how long does it take you to acclimate your sleep schedule? Because I know food is important, but also sleep and rest is very important. How long does it take you to kind of acclimate to that portion?
Yeah, people don't realize how important like sleep is, and people will just go through their lives on like 4 or 5 hours of sleep and like just wondering why they feel so miserable.
Bad,
But they feel like they've been run over by a car all day.
It really depends. Now, if I'm going from west to east, I don't have a problem with my sleep schedule. As long as I can do enough physical activity to be tired at nighttime, one or like between midnight and 2 is a good time for, what I do, and then, but, going to Australia or going to Europe, there's anywhere from a 14-hour, 9 to 14-hour time change. So that's difficult. And you can't always get the flights that you want. The trick is to get, a flight and land in the evening wherever you're going to be. And then you could just go to bed. And usually that'll help with the jet lag. But most of the time we're leaving at nighttime, landing in the middle of the day, and like, all right, now I have to make sure that I don't sit down in my hotel room or, lay down in my bunk on the bus, or else, it's going to be over.
Yeah.
I do that when I travel.
Wow. Because you guys, there's almost like Dane and Nick, there's almost like the business end of this. It's a business with what you guys both do. There's a business to rock and roll, like you gotta, I never thought about that, because Dane, what we do, what people do, maybe it's doctors, lawyers and things like that. They have to practice their craft. And Kyle, it's fascinating, man. My jaw's dropped, and I'm just like, man, I never realized how much goes into, obviously, outside of being a world-class musician or Nick, a world-class athlete, there's the business and the 9 to 5 type stuff that you guys have to do as well. That's just fascinating, man. Man.
Yeah. I mean, and don't get me wrong, at the end of the night, I get to do, what a lot of people, wish they could be in a similar position. I get to play awesome, rock shows, but say on this last tour, it was a super quick run, and we all decided, like, hey, we're gonna do a van instead of a bus, because not only with the price of everything has just skyrocketed, like the price of a bus has almost tripled.
Wow.
So I mean, we were going out for 3 weeks. There was a few nasty drives, but I decided, because I drive a lot, my day job, I was like, maybe, I'll drive the van, tag out a couple of times, but I knew when I was like, I need to like rest my eyes for a couple of hours.
Yeah.
But in that type of situation, I was exhausted. I came home and I was like, and it sucks because I didn't really have a chance to like really, really rest. I mean, like I slept, but since I got home, we've been filming music videos and getting ready for, to announce, new singles, announce the new album. And, also I was spending time with my girlfriend, because basically right when I got home was, our 2-year anniversary. And
congrats, man. That's cool.
And then right into music videos, and then right back into training. Because right now I'm the biggest I've ever been. And I'm like, Jesus, I really, really, really got to do something.
I got you. Well, Kyle, I'll say this, and I'll wind it down, man, because I appreciate it's an honor. Like I say, anytime we get a chance to do this with our guests, we appreciate it. Man, there's it's a fascinating take on, again, great musician, music that motivates us. No, it's clear to see how driven you are. You're driven. No wonder it comes out in your music. You inspire people, and that's been our entire premise from day one, Kyle. Like I told you, is we want to find a way to help people. This is a path of how you can get to where you want to be. And I made notes of things like, playing with others, even if they're not as good as you or better, taking care of your body, taking care of your sleep. And I respect you when you said this too. And no, I know there's different paths of rock stars. It's the respect when you said, hey, it's a business, maybe not being things like a womanizer. That stood out to me a lot too. And Nick, I know you said that too. That's a whole other level of cool to me, man. That you can represent rock and roll and still be a good person. You know what I mean? Dave, what do you add to that, man? That's crazy. Dude.
I mean, it's something that keeps you focused on your craft as opposed to everything else around you. There's plenty of things that are out there that are ready to pull you apart from what you're trying to do. But whenever you stay focused and you have a lot of goals in mind, and you stay on those, then you're going to get to the top by just telling a lot of people no. In essence, even people that care about you, you got to tell them every now and then. You got to tell them no. I got a goal to reach. So congratulations for that. For doing that and being as successful as you are and still rising. So it's a great message.
Just look at guys like Mike Kruger from Nickelback. Like he's one of the, I consider him a great friend, and he's one of the most successful musicians that I know. And he is, he doesn't drink, he eats right. He does Brazilian jiu-jitsu, he's been married, he has a family. Like, he is just like one of those dudes that is just like, not only is he a great musician, not only is he a genuine person, and then not only like, do I feel like he's one of the smartest people out there, but he's also just a good person, like, in general. And I can say the same for Eric Bass from Shinedown. I don't know, those are the guys I can see why they have lasted as long as they have.
Well, I'll say this, and I mean this, Colin, closing, the way they feel about, because we love them too, but it's a glimpse of, as I told like Nick and then yourself, the way we feel about you, man, because we only interview people that we're huge fans of. So I've known about your what makes you tick for a while. I've watched you for a long time, and I'm just happy, man, to see your success. Let it be known, as always, an open invitation. As more singles drop, you're welcome to come back anytime. If you ever are working on some side projects too, I know a lot of artists stay busy with side bands. You're welcome anytime, man. If you want to showcase some of your side stuff, we'd love to have you. Open door invitation. It has been an absolute bucket list, true honor, man. So I appreciate you. Nick, do you have anything in closing, or Dane, you guys want to add to that, fellas? Before I
just want to say thank you. And then two, on your food, eat your carbs in the morning. So 75%, 75% carbs in the morning, 25% protein in the morning. And then in the evening, 25% carbs and 75% protein. Your body's putting itself back together at night when you go to sleep. Therefore, that's when you need your protein, is at night, right before you go to bed. That's when you need the biggest amount of it. So
that's cool.
That way your body gets itself back together at night. That's what it does.
Who knew we learned that on a rock episode? That's legit. Thank you guys. Thank you guys. That's awesome. Dane, anything closing, man?
Oh, not only learn it, but learn it from one of the best.
No pun intended.
Thanks, guys.
No, I mean, I'm like you said, I'm starstruck and awestruck, and thank you, Kyle. I can't thank you enough for coming on and sharing what you have with us, and good luck and much success in the future, I'm sure.
Thank you. Thank you. I really appreciate, like I said, Josh, I know it took us, a little bit of a back and forth to get this, but I'm glad that we were able to put this all together. And, it was really great meeting all of you, Nick, Josh, Dane. It's been a pleasure, and I really appreciate you guys.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. We'll be in touch, man.
And all the kind words you guys have been.
All true.
Like, I'm gonna have to go tell my girlfriend how much you guys were blowing smoke, because she's gonna bring me back down.
If you're in the doghouse, Kyle, just play this episode, man. Hey, see, I'm a great guy. Josh said it, so I love it, brother. Well, much love, Kyle. Take care, man. Best of luck, and we'll be in touch soon. And you take care, okay? Appreciate you, brother.
You guys too.
Thanks, man. Have a good one.
You too.
So, Dane, Nick, talk to me, guys. Let's break that down. What a night, huh?
Yeah, that was pretty amazing. I mean, he's a really, you can tell just how professional he is, and then how he's got together. And it's a really good example on what, guys that are trying to become young musicians should actually model themselves after, as opposed to some of the other ones we've seen throughout history. So, I mean, how many of the Seattle band lead singers are still alive? One?
Right.
Yeah, maybe one. Yeah.
One? Eddie Vedder? That's
it. Maybe Jerry Cantrell, maybe two. Yeah.
Cantrell wasn't the lead singer though.
Yeah, well, I'm saying just very, very few people from that scene. You know what I mean? So
but it's kind of like it's neat to see his generation putting out the music that they are, because it's absolutely amazing. And then how they take care of themselves, they've learned to do the right things, and it's really cool. It's a neat thing.
I didn't know he was going to say all that. It's kind of neat. It was almost prophetic because of what you represent, taking care of the body. Yeah. And then he I don't know if he just that's Kismet, man. I love it. Dane, what do you think about that? That was great.
I love it. I mean, showing that side of somebody who's so accomplished by, you can maybe expect saying, well, this is what I like to do. We'll go out and party till 5 a.m. and we have, this on the tour bus, but he's not like that. He said, hey, I got some goals to reach. I got stuff I'm still up.
That was cool.
I'm still climbing to the peak. And if you always feel like you're climbing to the peak, you're going to make the right decisions to get where you need to get. And it sounds like he's doing that. And like you guys said, that's why they've had the success they have now. And are going to have continued success going forward. So it's a great message for, like you guys said, the younger listeners and viewers that, hey, if you want to reach your goal, you got to stay focused and you got to stay humble.
And you don't have to do it by partying. There's something because there's been a stigma, and Nick, you mentioned this too. I know you're still very young, a young buck, but you've had a chance to see some of the 80s heydays, where that's what it was. It was decadence, right? Musicians, and it's just they're not alive. They're not even, or they're in very bad health. It's like you don't have to be excessive to rock out. You know what I'm saying? So, man,
you can look at Vince Neil.
Yeah. But or even like bless his heart, Ozzy, all the years of partying, now he's in not great health at his old age, right? Or older age, right? So it's just it's a true thing, man. That's crazy. So wow.
Well, what a great one.
Yeah, well, it was one of the best, Nick. So
thanks, guys.
we appreciate you doing that. That's an honor. Again, we'll make sure that, Nick, we'd love to have some stuff down the pike, some more rock stars that we'd love to have you a part of. Okay.
Absolutely. I love music too. I mean, I think I've seen Primus 11 times.
Wow.
I've seen Guar a couple times, Jane's Addiction.
Some heavies, yeah.
I got you.
Some heavies.
I got to see the Rolling Stones play. That was pretty cool in 1989.
That's cool. That's awesome, man.
So I've seen a lot of the original Pink Floyd together, stuff like that. So
wow,
the
man.
Van Halen together. I got to see the 1984 tour, so that was pretty cool.
So you know your music and your nutrition and you know it all, dude. Is there anything you can't do?
I know.
That's crazy. Yeah, we just got back from Clutch Friday night. It was legit, man. It was a great show. So
it's a great show.
Yeah. Well, you guys, again, we'll have Nick around for many more. So I want to say thank you, Kyle. Thank you, Nick, and all of you out there that have been waiting for this one for a long time. As always, don't forget that we love you. And Dane,
thank you for listening.